Welcome back to Roots and Roasts. Today we're diving into everything you need to know to successfully grow and maintain one of the most striking trailing plants for your indoor space, the Cebu Blue Pothos. This plant isn't just beautiful. With its metallic blue-green leaves, it's also beginner-friendly. But to really get the most out of it, you'll want to dial in a few critical care practices. So let's walk through each one clearly and practically. Grab a pen or take notes in your phone. This is the full guide. The Cebu Blue Pothos, botanically known as Epiprimnum pinnatum Cebu Blue, is native to the island of Cebu in the Philippines. It's earned a place in collections around the world for its soft, shimmering leaves that look almost metallic under the right light. In ideal conditions, it can mature into a climbing vine that produces fenestrated or split leaves. Lighting is where most people either succeed or stall with this plant. And with Cebu Blue Pothos, light directly impacts both the speed of growth and the appearance of the foliage. To preserve that beautiful silvery blue shimmer, aim for bright, indirect light. That means light that's strong but diffused, not hitting the leaves directly. The ideal setup? In this type of light, the Cebu Blue's leaves stay compact, richly colored, and develop faster along each vine. Now, this plant can survive in lower light, such as a few feet from a north-facing window or in a dimmer room. But here's what happens. The leaves grow longer and thinner. The plant becomes leggy, meaning it stretches toward the light, and the signature blue tone fades to a more generic green. So, while it won't die in low light, it also won't thrive, and you'll miss out on what makes it special. Direct sunlight is a no-go. This is a tropical understory plant. Its leaves are thin and sensitive. Too much direct sun, even for a few hours a day, will cause scorching, faded patches, or even burn holes in the foliage. If your natural light just isn't enough, especially in winter or in basement apartments, use a full-spectrum grow light. Choose one that's labeled for vegetative growth or houseplants. Keep it about 12 to 18 inches above the plant. Set it on a 12-hour timer to mimic a natural light cycle. That setup alone can prevent leaf drop, boost color, and double your growth rate. Let's talk water. This is a tropical plant, but it doesn't want to sit in soggy soil. Water only when the top 1 to 2 inches of soil feels dry to the touch. For a 6 to 8 inch container, you'll likely water every 7 to 10 days in warmer months. Less in winter. For larger pots, spacing may extend to 10 to 14 days. Use a wooden chopstick or moisture meter to probe deeper and check. Signs to watch. Yellow leaves? You're overwatering. Dry edges or curling? That's underwatering. Use room temperature water. Cold water can shock the roots, especially in winter. Container choice is more important than people realize. This plant absolutely requires a pot with drainage holes. No decorative cash pots without proper draining. Best options: terracotta, breathable, dries faster, great for beginners. Glazed ceramic or recycled plastic, retains moisture longer. Great in dry homes, but monitor the soil closely. Never let the pot sit in standing water. Use a saucer, but dump any runoff 15 to 30 minutes after watering. Cebu Blue Pothos grows moderately fast and may need repotting every 12 to 24 months. Repot when you notice roots circling the bottom of the pot, soil drying out too quickly, growth slowing down despite proper care. Choose a pot 1 to 2 inches wider than the current one. Spring is the best time to repot. That's when the plant is actively growing and can recover fastest. All right, let's talk about something foundational. Literally. Before we go any further, pause here and grab a notebook. This next part might be the most important thing you learn today, especially if your plant's been struggling for reasons you can't quite explain. Think of soil as your plant's bed. Would you sleep on soggy sheets? Neither would they. We want a well-draining mix. That means the soil should hold just enough moisture, but let the rest drain away, so the roots don't sit in water and rot. Here's a simple mix to build your own. 2 parts indoor potting soil, the base. 1 part perlite, That's the white, puffed rock-like material you see in soil bags. It keeps things airy and helps drain water fast. Now let's feed our plants, but only when they're hungry. When to fertilize, spring and summer equals active growing season. Fall and winter equals rest period. Hold the fertilizer. What to use? Use a balanced liquid fertilizer labeled 10-10-10. That's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Dilute it to half strength. Always. Feed once a month. If you prefer organic options, worm castings, they're like a probiotic-rich meal for your plant. Kelp emulsion or seaweed extract, gentle and natural growth boosters. This plant is low maintenance, but not immune to pests. Keep an eye out for spider mites. They cause webbing on leaves, mealybugs, cotton-like clumps, scale, hard bumps on stems. Prevention. Wipe leaves monthly. Use neem oil or insecticidal soap at the first sign. Treat once a week until pests are gone. Isolate new plants for 2 weeks before placing near your collection. Always. As a tropical species, Cebu Blue loves humidity, ideally 50% or higher. In winter, indoor air gets dry. Use a humidifier, group plants, or set the pot on a pebble tray with water, but don't let the roots sit in it. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in your indoor plant care kit, pruning. Not just for aesthetics, but for shaping growth, triggering fuller foliage, and creating new plants through propagation. With Cebu Blue Pothos, strategic pruning is essential if you want bushier, fuller vines instead of long, sparse trails. Always trim just above a node. That's the slightly raised bump where leaves and aerial roots emerge. The node is biologically active tissue. It's packed with growth hormones like auxins that stimulate new leaves or roots after a cut. Make the cut with clean, sharp scissors or pruning shears at a 45-degree angle to prevent water sitting on the wound. Pruning redirects the plant's energy to lateral growth, not just elongation. It also removes older, tired vines and encourages new shoots from the base or the cut node. Cebu Blue Pothos isn't just a trailing vine. It's a climber by nature, and its most impressive transformation happens when you mimic the conditions of its native environment. In the wild, this plant doesn't just sprawl along the forest floor. It climbs tree trunks and rocky surfaces in search of brighter light. And as it climbs, it matures, producing larger, thicker leaves with fenestrations or natural splits and holes, similar to a monstera. To encourage that transformation indoors, the plant needs vertical support and environmental consistency. Start by giving it something to climb. A moss pole, cocoa core pole, or natural bark totem mimics tree bark and texture and helps aerial roots latch on. Climbing stimulates what's known as ontogenetic progression, the plant's natural process of shifting from juvenile to mature growth. Without this upward cue, Cebu Blue will remain in its juvenile form. Thinner vines, smaller leaves, and no splits. The Cebu Blue Pothos is a perfect mix of beauty and simplicity, but like all living things, it thrives with consistency. Match its tropical origins, warm, indirect light, occasional water, good airflow, and this plant will reward you with fast growth, trailing vines, and eventually climbing maturity.